what I found that's most useful is to contact people that you know who have walked the journey before. For astronomy, if you think about it, more than 70% of us are not in astronomy anymore. So I think the statistics was between 70 to 80% of astronomy PhD graduates ended up not staying in astronomy long-term. And if you think about that number, there are more astronomers outside of astronomy, and just reach out to them. So I'm personally super grateful for every single one of them who have talked to me, and they are really insightful people, successful people outside of astronomy who are willing to help people who are still inside of astronomy who want to walk the same path again. So just reach out to them, and you'll be surprised what they tell you.
Do what you're most interested in, what you enjoy most. There's a bit of advice I've once heard from Geraint Lewis, and other people have said it as well. When you leave school, go and get a job that earns you heaps of money. I don't know, stock market, selling houses, whatever it is these days that sells money, I don't know what it is. And then go and do what you want to do. And there's some sense in that. Except that once you've got all the money, it's hard to then go back to university and study hard, which you need to do for 10 years or so before you've got your PhD. That's one way of doing it. Get the money and then do what you really want. Or just do what you really want because you know you're going to enjoy it for the rest of your life. And that's what I've done. I picked astronomy, did an engineering degree early on, and realised that as professionally wasn't quite for me. And so I jumped to astronomy because I knew that was my other interest, which I'd always had, and I'd never lost interest in it. So I kept with that. And as I left uni, I knew there was a job came up, and I knew that I would be happy working as a curator within the museum field, within Sydney Observatory. So I reckon follow your interests, follow what you look back over your life and see what it is that's kept your interest over that time. Follow that.
It is challenging applying for any job at any career stage, and I think you need to have a little bit of resilience in terms of applying for jobs, sometimes not hearing back. It is very demotivating, but just knowing that the right job is out there for you and just to keep trying. I think the other thing that's been really useful for me is really being able to clearly articulate how my skill set matches the role that I'm looking for, which is great for applying for jobs. But I think the other part of that is also understanding what you're going to learn in this role and how that's going to add to the skill set that you already have.
If you want to leave astronomy and leave academia, follow your dreams. I know it sounds really cheesy, but if you enjoy what you do, that makes life so much easier. And follow in those opportunities that excite you as well. You never know where it'll lead you.
That advice would be to learn SQL, which is a database language, to understand how exactly it works and how to use it. Because a lot of the data in the real world is structured into these databases, and without understanding exactly how to get all of that data out, I find myself being very slow sometimes and to do my work. So my advice would be to take a deeper look into what is required in the industry and to hone a few more of those specific skills that exist strictly outside of the data science realm.
When I decided to leave academia, I set aside a period of time to prepare for a Google internship. There's a lot of resources online that provide guidance on how to do that. And I also had some friends in the company that could give me some additional advice. I didn't expect to land the internship, but once I had my foot in the door, all I had to do was convince them that I could learn anything I didn't already know.
So I did a lot of courses on a website called Udemy, which is they do online courses. They're just self-guided. They'll usually have video instructors. A good tip there is that you might go on the website and the course says it costs $150, but if you wait a week, they'll have like a 75% off sale. So I probably did 5 or 6 courses on machine learning algorithms and different aspects of machine learning, and wouldn't have spent more than $50. Put stuff in your GitHub repository and then link that to your CV. Because especially if you do some kind of side projects while you're learning machine learning, do some little side projects on there, put them on your GitHub in a Jupyter notebook and link it to your CV. And I know for a fact that my current boss looked at all of the things on my GitHub and specifically asked me about them in the interviews. So that was a big thing. Because yeah, you're coming from astronomy, you need to be able to demonstrate that you have the skill to do data science. And if you just put what you've done online, then that easily demonstrates it.
Yeah, like I've been invited to a couple of panels. I still talk to my previous colleagues at Stronglow, and I really value that network that I have. So yeah, like just keep talking to people, and you never know what opportunities that you learn from other people and you bring to other people as well.
So the advice I would give others considering a transition out of academia and out of astronomy, one is it also could be just out of academia, and there are research roles that are still, if you will, astronomy adjacent or astronomy roles, but they're not necessarily academic focused. But the main thing is do it for the reasons that you would feel really comfortable with. It's much harder if you really feel like you've pushed out, maybe because you didn't get the positions you wanted. But if you're also really kind of looking at the landscape and seeing this is an interesting challenge, or this is something I would like to do, rather than being forced into a job, I think that's the best advice I can do. Start looking and start thinking about what interests you so you can apply for the jobs that would be the most interesting to you.